introductions, right?
Yeah. Okay, hey everybody, as you know, I'm Kristen, and then this is my friend who's going to be the future Dr. Washington. If you'd like to just introduce yourself for the people.
Hey y'all, I'm Janae, and this is too funny because I'm also recording at the same time. So I will have her channel in my description box. And you go put my channel in the description box. So sorry if it's like, why are you talking in third person like that? Are you talking like, this is not your channel? Because we're doing this at the same time. But I am an incoming MS1. I have no idea what school I'm picking yet, but I've been accepted into 4 medical schools. And I will be starting in the summer of 2022 to be in the class of 2026 or 2027 if I do decide to get a dual degree.
Okay. And what would your dual degree be in?
I'm thinking about doing a Master's of Public Health or a Master's of Public Health in Global Health Sciences. Yeah, those are the only two. Those are the only two that I would do. Or perhaps like studying abroad. I do want to learn some critical languages. I know Spanish intermediately, and I am trying to teach myself Arabic.
Okay, she fancy.
Like that, but you have to tell me about yourself too.
Okay, for Janae's people. Hi, I'm Kristen. I am a first-year PT student at Hampton University. I just finished my first year of PT school.
First year?
First semester. Like that semester be feeling like a year, bro. First semester of PT school, but I'm first year, so yeah.
So look at that, your future Black medical healthcare professionals. So I guess what the first question should be like why we each chose this path.
Yeah.
You go first because my channel is like saturated with like med videos since I'm not in it yet. So you go first. Why did you pick PT?
I chose PT because okay.
Wait a minute.
In high school, like, if you were to tell my high school self that I was going to be in any type of health, anything, I would have told you you're lying. Because I did not want to go into the health field, like, at all. But once I got into college, and just a little background, I have a dance background. So I've always been dancing, moving, all of that type of stuff. So when I got into college, I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. And so my friends at the time pointed me to kinesiology, just to get like my footing, since I told them that I'm really into like stretching and like wanting to help people prevent injuries and things like that through stretching. So then they pointed me to that, and at first I thought I wanted to be an athletic trainer, but I don't like seeing people get hurt. So I knew athletic training was out for me.
I'm like a psychopath. I don't like seeing people get hurt.
Yeah, I don't like that. Like, I had an athletic trainer as one of like my like lab TAs, and like she would show us injuries, and to her she was like, "Ooh, isn't this so cool?" And I would be like, "Ew, that's nasty." But then I found out about physical therapy, which helps like afterward in the rehab. That's if that's the type of PT that you want to go into, because there's a lot of layers to physical therapy that a lot of people don't know about, and that when I first learned about it, I didn't know about it either. But for most people, they know about the prevention of injuries or rehab of injuries. So that's kind of what got me into PT. And I didn't want to go into medicine because I already knew I didn't want to go into medicine. It didn't intrigue me. So yeah.
That's really funny because then like my why medicine is literally all the reasons you don't want to do it. Like I was like, ooh, like friend got injured by like, what did she do? She landed on the high jump bar and like a part of her back, like one of her discs like dislocated, and you could hear it. Ew. Like one impact was like, and I was like, I was like, how interesting. Like, of course I was hoping she was okay, but I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then mostly for me, it was actually like the mental health side of things. Of course, even though you could be like a therapist, right, or a counselor or a psychologist, I do feel like pharmacology gets a bad rap. Of course, like you do have physicians who are unfortunately pill pushers who are like, as soon as you say that you have a problem, have some meds. But I do think it's still interesting that there are just so many avenues of like health. Like medications. I'm actually watching a documentary right now on like Oxycontin and like how that was like a train wreck in the early United States in the 70s. Or something like that.
Is that a show?
Yes, it's called Dope Sick.
Okay, I think I've heard of that. That looks interesting.
It is really good. It really shows you the ins and outs of the FDA. I promise I'm a friendly fed. I currently work for OSHA, okay? I am not one of the bad guys, at least not to my knowledge. But yeah, so I just feel like in general, there's just so many different things you can do like in the medical field. And I just feel like I had like that exposure bias of like everything that I was interested in. It was like you need to go to medical school to do it. But I guess then kind of the second question that I have for you was like, what type of physical therapy are you interested in? Or like have you kind of discovered now that you're into physical therapy? Because I feel like you said, when I think PT, I'm like, all right, go to rehab and stretch my muscles and foam roll. Like that's immediately what I think of.
That's what a lot of people think of, and I think that when I first learned about PT, like that's the first layer that you see. That's another thing with why PT is, at least for me, is I do like the holistic part of kind of just showing how we can heal through exercise and just kind of like on our own. Of course, obviously you need like, sometimes you may need medicine, sometimes you may need surgery, but just like that healing effect of what the body can do, that's what also intrigued me. But with PT, there are 10, starting next year, we'll have 10 different specialties. So let's see if I can remember all of them, but everybody knows sports, so there's the sports one. There's orthopedic, which everybody knows that as well. There's women's health, or now they want to call it pelvic health because it's also, they want to make it inclusive because you do work with men.
What do they call it? What is it?
Pelvic health.
Oh, just pelvic health. What was it at first?
Women's health.
Oh, okay.
Because that kind of made it seem like it's only for women, but with pelvic health, it shows that it's like more inclusive for men. That's 3. Peds, so working with kids. Geriatrics, working with old folks. There's cardio home. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. I feel like, well, you know what system they're working with. Once I get into that class, and I can tell you more in depth what we do, but yeah, that's a specialty. Oncology, surprisingly, I didn't know about that, but there is an oncology one. Oncology physical therapist.
That's interesting.
Wound care, that's the new one that'll be coming in 2022. And I'll be taking a class on wound care next semester. There's one called electrophysio something, and I forget. And there's one more. Oh God, what am I missing? There's one more. What am I missing? Neurology. Yeah.
That's okay. Wow. So, but is it still? That's more still the like a supportive role that you would be playing still, or is that like how? I guess how hands-on are you getting with whatever conditions the patients are coming with or have?
So specifically for like your cardiopulm, obviously the doctors are going to be the head people. So you would be like the head person that we have to listen to. You guys would write the
order?
Yeah, basically kind of like that. There'd be like some precautions that we have to take, and you guys would kind of tell us the precautions, kind of give a little bit of a plan of like where they should be at, and so we're the ones to get them to those points. But like for stuff like cardiopulm, oncology, like I know with people like the oncology therapists, I'm pretty sure they help during like chemo, they help during remission, like in that way. They are pretty hands-on, but obviously still taking orders from the doctors. So yeah, that's what we do. So we're gonna be working in the hospital, like we do have classes where we are gonna have to learn how to manage working with patients, and you know, like especially with people in something like cardiopulm, they're gonna have a lot of wires. So we're gonna have to learn how to maneuver them while they have all of those things attached to them. So things of that nature. As far as specialties that I would like to go into yet, I'm not sure yet. I don't really think I want to go into orthopedic because I've been in orthopedic clinics and it's kind of boring.
Oh wow! Okay, wow.
It's the same old thing. Somebody knee hurt, somebody back hurt.
It's just kind of repetitive.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. And then here I am. I'm actually really interested in like orthopedic surgery and like sports medicine. I guess you're right. There's only but so many injuries that you could face in that. Yeah,
but I feel like for you, at least it can be more interesting because you're cutting into it.
Right.
Whereas with me, I'm just doing the same old exercises, and it just doesn't. Different.
Okay. I mean, I'm not gonna lie though, I do think like not my new number one, but like I've always been interested in this, but now it's like slowly creeping its way like higher into my interest list is infectious disease. I do feel like maybe because it's like the pandemic that I'm starting to feel a little biased, and I'm sure there's some either my viewers or like somebody out there on YouTube that's like, you know, I want to be a physician because of this pandemic, but like I want to mess with like some aggressive like viruses and like some like you catch this and like you finna drop dead type viruses. Yeah. I always think that was interesting. I remember I used to be like obsessed with the CDC and like just virology in general. I was ticked that I did not get to take that in college because I graduated too fast. Like
Did they add that later, like after you graduated?
It wasn't even that. It was like, I don't know, I think I had too many credits because I transferred. So then it was like by the time that like I had to take all these other courses first, and then it was like finally I could take virology and I graduated. So it was like I wasn't about to stay another semester just to take it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I'm definitely one of the things that I'm interested in. But I'll also say that I really hope that there's some integration in terms of like the field of medicine into like teaching us how to work with like you guys and like work with nurses. Like where is that course at? Like I don't want to just suddenly be a resident and now like not only am I in charge, like you said, of like my patients and like their plan, their care plan, but then I also have to know how to like direct like you guys to do your job as well. Like I need this from you. And I can just see how that's probably really difficult if I don't even understand what it is that you do.
Yeah. I think that's why, like in some medical school blogs that I have seen, and even some PT school blogs that I've seen, at schools that have like a medical school program, nursing program, PT, that have all of those things, I think it's cool when they have like an integration thing. So it's like they bring people from each of those schools together to like have a patient, and then being the care team and working together to like get to come up with the care plan. And I think that every school should kind of have that, because you know, if all of us, like for the PTs that do want to be in inpatient type of settings, we're going to be a part of that team. Like we're all part of the care team of taking care of this one patient. We need to know how to work together and listen to each other, and doctors, you know, being able to listen to us and know that we do bring something to the table, that we didn't just
not just
about,
like dismiss you.
Yeah, not just like this was the only thing we learned.
It's
like we are taking cardiopulmonary like classes, we are taking pathology classes. Like these are things like we have the knowledge to bring something to help, bring something to the table. So I think that is something that every program should have. But now I have a question for you.
Oh, okay.
So you want to do, and I know like for you, you said that you kind of just, everything that brought you to medicine was just kind of always just around like, oh, I need to go to medical school. Mm-hmm. But seeing as like, I guess before you started to get into infectious diseases, you wanted to be into orthopedics, so why orthopedic medicine and not PT?
Again, I do feel like for me, I wanted to be a bit more invasive, just in terms of like what I could and could not do. So I guess in general, like this is kind of my perspective on medicine in general, and I hope I don't offend anybody, any of my subs or anybody who's gonna be watching this video from like the medical school side, but I honestly never really understood how somebody would want to go into medicine and not super specialize, because there are so many other things that you could have done. It's like, if you wanted to just, I don't know, be like the family practitioner or something like that, it's like, you could be like a nurse. Like, there's so many other things that you could have done. It's like, why didn't you do it? But I think for me, it definitely is more so the, like you said, like I like the idea of surgery, and I like all of these like super intensive things that go beyond, I guess, just like I don't want to call them the basics because like that's rude. But just I don't know, like again, things that are kind of like if you had like
this is your thing.
Yes.
I know this thing.
Yes, like a Venn diagram. Like I didn't want to do the stuff that's in the middle. Like I didn't want to do the things that were like any discipline could handle this. I wanted to be like no, like specifically like I am the doctor here and this is what I do.
Yeah,
this is my bread and butter.
I does this.
Yes. Even though it's gonna be so many more years. Jesus. So yeah, I really do think like a surgical specialty, or again like a specialty that's not offered in any other field, is probably like where I'm gonna end up, just because I feel like with the way it's costing, I'm gonna get my money worth. So yeah, I think that's probably my biggest like reason why.
Yeah, I think that's also why I don't want to do orthopedic, because you're kind of orthopedic to me is kind of like the family doctor.
Okay.
In a way, like that's just they kind of do everything, and it's like they're kind of what is that saying like a jack of all trades.
Oh, okay.
Type of thing. Like not saying that they're not,
That's actually not an offensive phrase, apparently. Like
Yeah. I don't know. Some people can take it offensive.
Oh, really?
So I'm not trying to say that, but that's kind of like in my eyes the orthopedic just area. You're kind of doing everything. Whereas like if I wanted to do pelvic health, like that's a specialty that people like, especially now that we know a little bit more about it, that people are really signing up for and is in high demand for. Now we're in COVID, cardio, palm PTs are in high demand right now. So like those type of things where I was like, this is what I do, like this is what I does.
like you know who to call.
Yeah.
Ghostbusters.
That's kind of like what I want to do. I'm not sure where I want to specialize. I don't think I'd want to be in cardio and palm just based off of some of the ventilation type stuff that I learned, and it just didn't do it for me. So I don't think I'm going to be that, but neuro is kind of interesting. It's hard, but it is interesting.
Yeah, and I would never, like, from a medical standpoint, what neurosurgery or even like neurology, like there's just way too much going on in the brain, bro. Like I barely, for my MCAT, could remember the dang neurotransmitters, right? Like the monoamines, and I'm pretty sure during one of my interviews, I was absolutely mortified because one of my interviewers was he was a neurologist, and he asked me what was like the primary excitatory neurotransmitter in the brain, and I was like, huh? You said what? Like I was just completely like shook, and I said the wrong thing. Like I'm pretty sure I named the major inhibitor or something, and I said, "See, no, I'm gonna kill somebody." So I just don't think. Nope. Yeah, you got that. Like
it's interesting. I don't know if I want to do it. It's definitely hard because we learned about a bunch of different pathways this semester.
Yeah, see, you got that, girl. I mean, it's definitely worth it though. I do think. This is a note to again, anybody watching. I do feel like if you are considering doing something general, like really try to look at all of the other fields that maybe you can do it as well. Like don't be so like dead set on doing, MD or like being a PT. Like maybe you might enjoy nursing, like you don't know. I definitely say to just explore if you're not like interested in a specialty or in an area that's like specific to that program that you're trying to get into, because once you commit that money, man, like you there now, like you stuck now. So that's just my little sprinkle of knowledge.
Yeah.
Could you see yourself doing anything else, or you're like, this is for you?
No, yeah, I think this is for me, because prior to me getting into this, I didn't think I was gonna be here. So I started looking into other things, and like nothing else was doing it for me. Like literally nothing else was doing it for me. So once I got in, I was like, okay. You were like,
man, I'm going. That was actually what was that, like a year worth of like you trying to just do other stuff like entrepreneurship. And let me tell y'all something. Don't y'all be out here falling. I'm looking at both cameras. Don't be out here falling for that whole 9 to 5 did. Be your own boss. Guess what hours you're going to work as the boss? 9 to 5. So I just
probably more as an entrepreneur.
I just feel like owning a business is not for everybody. This is not like to be slight at you, but just kind of watching you do all of that work, and like you were trying to like sell your own like products and like you were trying to hold conferences. There was just like so much that you were trying to do.
It was.
And
I was doing a lot. It was like, and now this is where I can come on myself. I was trying to be a master. Like, I was trying to be a jack of all trades, but I was literally mastering nothing. I was not mastering.
And here I was like, you can do it, girl. Like, you know, trying to give the word support. Like, we would be going like to church together, and like after church, like trying to discuss like purpose and like intent. And I was like, you got this, girl. And
it was just really looking bleak, I must say.
Listen, she already convinced herself that like PT was never for her. She was like, man, I ain't want to do that. You ever wanted something and then like somebody told you no and you're like, I ain't want that thing anyway.
Yeah.
That was definitely you. But like, you know, it's fair. Like that's the process of life. But yeah, like that whole propaganda of like own your own business and be your own boss and all of that, like that ain't for everybody. Not everybody is meant to own their own business. Not everybody is meant to, you know, has the entrepreneur spirit. It takes a different type of mindset, a different type of time, willingness to be in the gutter. Like not everybody wants to be a Steve Jobs, but if you was broken homeless like that, man, I bet you wouldn't want it. Cause what was he like, living out of his garage at some point or something crazy like that? So yeah, like take it easy with the whole like I would never say never, Papa. That's what I'm saying.
I don't think I was ever against like a 9 to 5. I don't know. It just was looking real bleak, and I would just say don't give up too quickly because that's what I did. I feel like I definitely gave up because Hampton was taking their good old time trying to tell me that I got into the freaking school.
HBC.
Hampton was taking their sweet old time. Because once April hits and you don't hear anything, like at that point I feel like we just really
assume. Like
it's easy to assume that it's not happening. Yeah. But then at the end of freaking May, it happened. So
I took 2 gap years to get to where I am now, and I'm still stressing.
I took 2 unintentionally, but hey.
Ain't nothing wrong with gap years. Honestly, take them if you need them. Honestly, shoot, I wish I would have took another one to gather my finances, which will be in my video. Come soon come. My financial aid rant.
Yeah. These are the things that they don't talk about.
Oh, please.
The financial aid part is
a beast.
Very stressful.
A demon.
It's very stressful. They don't be wanting us to win out here.
At all. They said like once you like get done undergrad, they're like away with you. But then it's like the world is just getting more and more expensive and you need more and more qualifications and skills. And like we're feeling a social need, like a societal need. Like you're always gonna need medical professionals. Like that's just never gonna go away. Like you could try to replace it with robots, you still need somebody with the medical knowledge to work the damn robot. Yeah. So I, really just wish
if the robot don't work, you need somebody to fill in for the robot.
Right, like somebody gonna lay on the table and like wait for the robot to go back up, they're gonna die. So I really just hope like as the years go by, like the support just gets better, like the financial support, because it's rough, man. But I wouldn't do anything else. Just like she said, I don't think I could see myself picking any other career.
Yeah, no, I don't. Yeah. So, because like I said, I tried. It worked.
Yeah, I have a job right now. I have a full-time job right now. Ask me how much I work. Ask me what I really do. Actually, don't ask me that. They might be watching. But I don't really think I have any other questions either, and I don't want to like this video to be crazy long.
Yeah.
What are we at, like 25 minutes?
Yeah, some of that was cut out, but probably like 20.
So I think I'm all good with my questions. Somebody asked me to talk about the difference between MD and DO because I did not tell you guys for Kristen's channel. I'm on the MD path. You can either do medical doctorate or doctor of osteopathic medicine. I have absolutely no idea what the difference is. I'm so sorry. I just know that the schooling is different. I think the application process is a little different. I did see one person who's like in med school, and I think she's at a DO program, and I think she talked about the difference. I don't see her name's like Rachel something. She's like, but you can probably just look up on YouTube. They probably got a little video out there of the difference between DO and MD. Yeah, but I just wanted to put that out there in case somebody like in the comments is like, what does your friend do? MD. Do not come to my channel asking me about DO because you will be disappointed. So yeah, I think that's it for me.
Yeah, that's it for me.
All right. Thanks for having me.
Thanks.